Welcome to Wealth Empowers with Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence. I'm Kevin Lawrence in studio with my dad, Dr. Gary Lawrence. We are a father and son team dedicated to helping you create your new financial future today. Dr. G and I believe there is a solution to your financial situation. And on this show, we talk about creating wealth with powerful principles and practical application in today's world. Hey, you can visit our website at wealthempowers.com. Of course, this radio show is also on iTunes. You can follow us on Facebook or our YouTube channel. Just type in Wealth Empowers and you'll be able to find us online. Now, as you listen today, my friends, we hope you'll be entertained, educated, and at least encouraged, and we are glad to have you riding along with us. So we all have hopes and dreams. At least we did at one time in life. But as life goes on, and as life happens, it seems that we slowly let our dreams die and fade in the light of dealing with reality of life. When we all stood at our high school graduation, I'm pretty sure none of us declared that our dream was to be 65 years old, retired from a job that we hated the past 40 years, and depending on Social Security and working part-time to make ends meet. However, based on statistics, this is where over 60% of Americans end up every day. So what do? How do we revive our dreams? What steps do we take to wake up to the possibilities of a strong financial future at any age and any stage of life? Dad, how would you respond to those questions?
Well, it's frightening. It's absolutely frightening when you take into consideration the fact that every day in America, 10,000 people are retiring on their Social Insecurity, and you just said 60% of those 10,000, okay, that's 6,000 people a day will end up subsisting on Social Insecurity.
Yeah, they're broken. They're depending on government or family to help them get through.
Right. And Sylvia, my wife, and I, we had a very successful counseling practice. And after 25 years, we decided to retire. And we'd planned our retirement through mutual funds and stocks. But what happened is, I was 59 at the time. It took me 6 weeks to uncover the fact that we'd already lost 65% of our retirement portfolio in the stock crash. But, tens of millions of Americans can share the same sad story. Oh, this is not supposed to happen.
Right.
Well, we lived on what we had left for the next 5 years. And in 2009, what we had left was no longer left. We had no cash, no savings. Our credit was maxed out. So in 2009, your mother and I went through bankruptcy and foreclosure. And that was a frightening time in our life because it wasn't supposed to turn out like that. And that's when I was introduced to this fantastic team of real estate investors called Renatus. And what is Renatus? Well, it's a Latin term for rebirth. And Renatus is the premier real estate investing education service in America. And I was 65 when I got started. And I got very focused. In my first 14 months, I was able to generate just under $200,000 in profits.
Yeah. And now those aren't typical results. I mean, everyone has different results, but still the point is you're in a place to be able to create something like that.
And having the desire to create something like that.
So you mean you didn't have the desire to find a different government program to support you?
No, I'm not into government assistance, but let's not talk about that. And I'm going to tell you, we have a very special guest. I love this guy, and he's from Denver, Colorado. He's 28 years old. He's a successful real estate investor. And he joined Renatus 4 years ago, and in the last 4 years, he's done 10 real estate deals. And now here's his background. Usually I have a BA degree, or I have a doctorate degree, or I have somebody that's got 2 or 3 degrees on as my guest. Guess what our guest did for a living before he came into Renatus?
Yeah.
He was a pizza delivery guy.
Awesome. That's great.
I tell you, I love pizza.
Yeah.
But let's bring him on. Martin Potter from Denver, Colorado. Welcome to the Wealth Empowers program. I'm glad you're our guest today.
Well, hey, Dr. G, I appreciate, and I'm honored to be on.
Well, Kevin and I, we're always talking about Renatus, and we're reaching out to men and women who know that they've got to make a change in their life. Tell us what was happening just briefly, delivering pizza, and then all of a sudden you saw a roadside sign that said something like real estate investor seeks a trainee. Is that right?
That is right. I was working pretty consistently, delivering for sort of a high-end pizza place here in Denver. And I was just really miserable with where I was at, living paycheck to paycheck, and I needed to change. Didn't really think about real estate as an option, and somebody had told me that I should get into real estate and get my license. And so that's what I did. It didn't take me too long to figure out that it was just a high-paying sales job.
Right.
And there was no way to create any long-term wealth.
Yeah, you're talking about becoming a real estate agent?
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what I did first.
Yeah, you thought that was going to be a high-paying commission job, huh?
Yeah, and it can be, but you also have to break your back to do it.
Sure. Right.
Yeah, well, and a lot of people, they misunderstand because they want to learn real estate investing. And so, well, it makes sense. Where do you start? Well, go be a realtor, get your real estate license.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But that has nothing to do with real estate investing. And you found that out real quick, didn't you, Martin?
I did. I found it out the hard way.
Yeah. So, so what was it that shifted? You said, okay, I don't want to be a realtor. I want to invest in real estate. And that shift happened, and then you saw a little advertisement. What happened when you called, and who'd you talk with?
Yeah, so when I realized that there was no way to create any type of passive income as an agent, I thought about or talked about with some people an investing opportunity, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I should check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Just so happened, right around that same day, I saw a sign, called the number on the sign, and I met a gentleman named Michael Huggins, and I went down and he did a little presentation here in Denver. It was actually the first one he had ever done.
Oh, really?
It was Kismet. It was Kismet. I really believe that it was. It was supposed to happen that way.
Sure.
Yeah, and so when you went to an event, you met Michael, you saw what Renatus was about, you saw the level of education, and then you got started. Yep. What was it that you saw that really caught your attention, though? I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there about how to invest in real estate, weekend boot camps and gurus. So what was it about what you saw that made a difference for you?
Well, yeah, with Renatus.
Well, what I saw was the opportunity to learn skills and create relationships that were going to take me, into the next 40 years of my life, not struggling, not financially struggling. That was what was most attractive to me.
So what I hear you saying is there was more than just how to flip a house, right?
Oh, yeah. That's a small portion of what is involved when you get into Renatus.
Well, now, Martin, I tell our audience that Renatus is the premier real estate investing education service in America. Now, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we have 29 practitioner and real estate instructors. I think we have over 60 classes, and those classes are not YouTube videos. Those are very professional training seminars, webinars that are produced in our home office. And my goodness, we have a tremendous array of education. But one of my favorites is Tax and Legal Day 1, Tax and Legal Day 2 with Mark Kohler. What do you think about the Velocity Banking class?
The Velocity Banking class is awesome. I was actually just showing a friend of mine's pastor Velocity Banking yesterday. We met up with him at his church, and because he's been teaching his congregation some basic debt reduction strategies and, has them hooked up on some of that stuff. And so I wanted to show him the next level, what that looks like after you get out of some basic debt and what that can do for you. And so I showed him Velocity Banking, and he was amazed.
He's blown away. We just interviewed a young lady from Murrieta, California last week. And I think she's 26 years old, and she and her husband enrolled in Renatus Education, and literally their goal is to be done by 30, just 4 more years, and they will have their mortgage paid off. And they actually signed and went into a 30-year mortgage, but without going out and getting another job, not just cutting back and living on rice and beans. They're actually going to have their 30-year mortgage eliminated in 6 years' time. Isn't that awesome, Martin?
Wow, yeah, that's great. That's not even the best I've heard. I've heard better. I have some people in Atlanta that are doing it in 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
people all over the country, because Renatus is a nationwide company. So we have people around the country that are making these inroads financially.
Right. Martin Potter from Denver, man, I can't talk today. Martin Potter.
Well, it's not Colorado. It's Colorado.
Okay.
That's
Let me try again. Martin Potter from Denver, Colorado.
There we go. Yeah.
Is our special guest. 28-year a 28-year-old real estate entrepreneur, wonderful fellow. And we're going to come back in a minute. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to really open the door to your possibilities of how you can create a new financial platform that you control, I want you to give me a call. Kevin and I, we're hosting an investor business forum this week right here in the Valley. And I want to extend to you my personal invitation to be my guest. To make that happen, you're going to have to call me. Now, I tell everybody, if you're going to be my guest in our business forum, you leave your checkbook and your credit cards at home. We're not going to sell you anything. We're just going to do our first step in doing our due diligence and get acquainted with each other. You're going to learn about real estate investing as it is today, not where it was 10 years ago. You're going to learn about Renatus, the educational service that we offer. Yeah, you're going to meet a team of wonderful men and women just like yourself that said, it's time to make a change. Hey, someday we may even have Martin Potter down here so you can meet him personally.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, if you'd like to be my guest, you're going to have to call me. When you do, you're going to get my 2730-5645 or visit us at our website, Wealth Empowers. That's WEALTHEMPOWERS, wealthempowers.com. Let's get back to our guest, Kevin. Martin, you said you've done 10 deals in the last 4 years. What kind of deals have you done or are you doing?
Oh, let's see. I've done a handful of fix and flips. I own 2 rental units. I have a wholesale under contract at the moment.
Well, let me just stop right there. I mean, good night. You're 28 years old. You've only been doing this for 4 years. How much of your success in the wonderful world of real estate investing would you give credit to the Renatus Education Service?
I know this sounds cliche, but all of it. I know for a fact that I would not have been able to achieve what I've done, without getting plugged into the community that Renatus offers and the education and everything. I mean, it all spawned out of that decision to get involved in Renatus.
Isn't that great? Hey, I'm just curious. Your 2 buy and holds, your rentals, and your 2 Airbnbs, just approximately, how much cash flow on a monthly basis are those creating for you?
The rental creates $2,000 between the 2 rentals. It's $2,000 gross. It ends up being probably about $1,400 or $1,500 after taxes, insurance, and property management.
Wow,
then the Airbnbs create about $300 a month each.
So that's about $4,000 a month you've got coming in true, genuine residual income through real estate.
No, not 4,000. It's
about 2,000.
Yeah, it's a little over 2,000.
About net. So, but it doesn't matter. I mean, that's huge. So, Martin, here you are. You're 24 years old. You're working in the restaurant industry.
He's 28.
But at 24, though, 4 years ago, right? So most, you know, and you're trying to figure out, hey, where you're going in life, what are you going to do? You get introduced to Renatus. And then over the last couple of years, you've put together a real estate portfolio that's cash flowing you a net $24,000 a year. And here's what's powerful about that. You've learned how to put that portfolio together. You're empowered to do it. But are you paying are you paying taxes, income tax on $24,000 a year, personal income tax?
No.
No. What? Wait, hold on. Isn't that illegal?
You would think so, under incorrect knowledge.
Well, the average American does not understand that when you become a real estate investor, I think you have well over 400 different types of tax deductions. Am I right or right on that, Martin?
You got it.
Yeah.
So now
you're on the ball.
Yeah, so you've got this income coming in, but it's business income. It's not personal income. So your tax liability is lower, but then consider also the value of the properties that you hold.
Well, and stop to look at the scenario here, Kevin. He's 28 years old. He's only been doing this for 4 years.
Right.
I can only imagine where Martin's going to be when he's 35. If he just doubles what he's done in the next 6 years, he doubles what he's done the last 4 years, he's going to have close to $5,000 a month coming in genuine residual income. Am I close to being right on that, Martin?
It's going to be a lot more than that, Dr. G.
Well, and that doesn't take into account the income you've generated with the flips that you have done over the last 3 to 4 years. See, that's another
Correct.
set of income,
That's
right?
Not including any active income.
Yeah, we're just talking your residual passive income.
Yeah.
So I listen to that, Martin, and I think, wow, you are empowered. Are you concerned about having to? Now, I know at 28 this seems far from you. Dr. G's already passed this landmark by quite a bit, but when you turn 65, you're not concerned about being dependent on social insecurity income, are you?
Oh no, not at all.
You sounded almost frightened by that.
Yeah, what is that?
What is that?
Yeah,
well,
big time.
and that's the thing, because it's not just about, hey, I'm going to get rich quick and fire my boss and buy an island. It's about you think differently about business and income now. You know how to structure deals, Martin. You know how to evaluate. What does it feel like to be empowered with that knowledge at such a young age?
It's incredible, and I love to share it.
Yeah. Well, you love to share it. That's why we have you on the radio show. This is why Dr. G and I reach out every week to our listeners to let them know they can also have that same knowledge and change their direction.
He was 24 when he got started.
Yeah.
I was 64 when I got started. And
There
I
you
got to
go.
tell you, I'm a little bit jealous.
Yeah.
Okay. That's bottom line.
Yeah.
And, I turned 75 my next birthday, still doing real estate investing. As a matter of fact, right now, one of my partners and I, we're developing 4 lots in East Mesa and putting new homes on them. It's just amazing what you've learned. And I just decided at the young age of 64, I'm going to re-educate myself. Martin had the opportunity to start out
Educating himself. Just learning it from the beginning, right?
Not having to redo everything.
Right. And you know what, Martin, our listeners don't know you personally, but I do, and I'll vouch for you. Not only are you educated, but you're just a good guy, man. I mean, you are. You're just a good-hearted guy.
Hey, what do you think
Thanks.
about Bob Snyder, our CEO and founder, Martin?
Oh, Bob's awesome.
I know
Great
it.
guy.
I know it. We just came back, ladies and gentlemen, from our national conference several weeks ago, and we had over 1,200 team members from across the nation at our national conference. What do you think of the national, Martin?
Nationals was great this year. I had a lot of fun, made a lot of connections.
Yeah.
Cultivated some previous relationships that I had.
Yeah.
Got to see you guys and hang out, took a picture with you.
Hey, what did you think of that crazy rock group that opened up on Thursday morning?
I saw you in there.
He's proud of himself, Martin. He's 74 years old. He's up on stage rocking with everyone else. So
yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
Right? His hip replacements have worked. Hey, let me ask you real quick though, Martin. People are listening and they go, well, this is just another guru thing. There's a bunch of stuff on how to flip houses. They've picked one guy from, probably no one who's been successful. Give 2 minutes. What would you say to someone who has skepticism about the reality of what Renatus can do for them?
I felt the same way when I was first looking into real estate investing. I did attend a few events that were what they call the gurus, which is a 2-hour free event that sells you to a 3-day boot camp event that then sells you to a 6 to 12 month mentorship program that then sells you to another. It's a constant sales funnel, and I had been in sales a little bit before, and so I saw right through that. And they got a great racket going on. They're professional. They know what they're doing, and they know how to sell people. Unfortunately, there's a big lack of support. I talked to a lot of people that had gotten involved and spent tens of thousands of dollars on some of those programs, and coming out 2 years later with no properties, no real estate dealings whatsoever. And that was a big problem for me. That was a big red flag. And so I'm really grateful that I did not spend a lot of money on any of those programs, and I waited a little longer. And then when I found Renatus, I thought it was the same thing. I'm not going to lie. Until I hung around a little bit more, and I started getting to know some of the people, and I realized the people involved were local people. They weren't from out of town, and they weren't just here for the weekend. They were local people doing real estate locally. And so that was a big turning point for me. And I decided to just keep hanging around with them, and I haven't stopped since.
That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Wealth Empowers with Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence, and our special guest is Martin Potter from Denver, Colorado. Did I say that right,
Man,
Kevin?
your pronunciation is spot on.
Anyway, we're hosting another investor business forum this week right in the Valley, and I would love to meet you. I'm extending to you an invitation to be mine and Kevin's personal guest. There's no cost to you. You're not going to be sold anything. We're just going to get acquainted. Are you at the place in your life where you know it's time you make a change? I'm inviting you to at least spend a couple hours with us, investigate the possibilities and probabilities of how you can create a new financial future now. If you'd like to be my guest, you're going to have to call to make it happen. So here's our phone number. Write it down. It's 602-730-5645. Now, when you call, be sure to leave a message with your name and phone number, and I personally will return the call. So once again, here's our number. It's 602-730-5645, or visit Kevin and I at our wealthempowers.com website. That's wealth, WEALTH, EMPOWERS, wealthempowers.com. And I'm looking forward to meeting you. Martin, we've just got a few minutes left, about 4 minutes. Would you speak from your heart to the heart of our audience? Why they should call me and be my personal guest at our business forum, what they're going to experience.
You know, if you're looking to make a change, if you're like where I was, just miserable with your job, not happy with where you're at, not getting paid what you're worth, you know, I advise anybody who's in that situation or wants to do something better or level up to come take a look.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't cost anything to take a look. If you like what you see, if it makes sense, you know, there are a lot of different ways and opportunities to get involved and start learning some of these skills and start building some relationships with some really great, genuine people.
Right.
And the integrity of the group is what really keeps me coming back. You know, we're people that do what we say and say what we do, and that's unfortunately pretty rare in this world these days.
I know it. You know, Martin, I tell folks I'm almost 75. Kevin keeps saying I'm 74. I'm looking at 75, right? And I am so blessed and honored to be part of a community of real estate investors that are so practical-minded, so profit-minded, so proactive at this time of my life. And, you know, there's no saying you become like the people you hang around, right?
Oh, yeah.
And your leader, Michael Huggins, he used to be a grease monkey at Jiffy Lube when he was 22 years old, didn't even own a car. And now he's 30 years old, and I think he's, the top income earner of our company nationwide?
He is.
Yeah.
Well, and it's good to be around young people like Martin, too, because they keep you young, Dr. G.
Yeah, well, you keep me young, and you're 47, dude.
He loves telling everyone how old we all are, Martin.
Martin.
Hey, your ages are reversed.
Yeah, right.
They are.
Well, I'll tell you, Martin, thank you so much for your valuable time. Hey, if any of our listeners call and would like to get your personal cell phone number, do I have your permission to give it to them?
You do.
We'll weed out the crazies, though. Promise you.
No problem. I'm happy to chat with anybody looking to get involved in real estate investing.
All right, Martin, we appreciate you, my friend, and thank you so much for taking your precious time to be with Kevin and I today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you really at the place in your life where you know it's time that you make a change? Well, I say it like this. Change, when left to chance, gives birth to conflict. And if you don't change, things are never going to change. And I'll guarantee you this, the only thing that won't change is the fact that things will change. So what's the bottom line? It's real simple. Either you make the change or the change is going to make you. How are you going to do that? Well, it's real simple. Stop being a circumstantial creator and become an intentional creator. Stop being the victim of your circumstances and reposition yourself to create the circumstances that you want to experience in life. Because, you know, if you want to change something, well, you're going to have to change your attitude towards it, okay? Success is not a destination. It's nothing more than a journey. Are you enjoying the journey? You can succeed. Success is something that you can experience no matter what your background is if you have the right leadership in your life. And I believe that we can offer you that leadership. Now listen carefully. Success is never final, but failure is never fatal. You are full of the power of success. Now, why do I say this with such strong conviction? It's real simple because I decided I'm going to create success, and I'm here to help you create success. Let's start together today.
It's been said, the best way to predict your future is to create it. No matter your circumstances, there is a solution to your situation. Dr. G and Kevin invite you to explore the possibilities of creating a new financial platform that you control and no longer allow yourself to be controlled by the circumstances of your life. Visit them at wealthempowers.com. That's WealthEmpowers.com. Come and meet Dr. G and Kevin at the Investor Business Forum. Oh, one last thought. Isn't it time for you to stop making a living and start making a life? Call Dr. G and Kevin at 602-730-5645. That's 602-730-5645.